Like a honeybee, you took the best of me. Now I can't erase those memories. Life was very fine. You were so unkind. You left a scar that was so hard to heal. Back on Earth could be a paradise. I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you. I miss you. Given all the love I feel for you, couldn't make you change your point of view. You're leaving. Now I'm sitting here wasting my time. I just don't know what I can do. That's right. It's a tragedy for me to see the dream is over. And I never will forget the day we met. Girl, I'm gonna miss you. This is a Milli Vanilli song. They didn't even sing that. I did just now. That was more authentic than Milli Vanilli. It was. How is everybody doing out there? Hey, hey, what is going on? Happy Sunday. It's a holiday weekend. Hey, Lift the Door. Good to see you. Thanks for dropping by. It's time to review some comic books. I misquoted. I miscalculated. We have 55 different comic books to review today. Indeed. I read a bunch of stuff. I read like everything that's in my, that I can get my grubby little pirate paws on, and arg, and sailing these high seas. But I will always spend money on the worthy. There are comic books out there that I've surprised myself with things that I've picked up because I've read them online first, and it's more of like, I took my chance and I gave it my time, and now sometimes you give it your money. And these are the books that I got from my local comic book shop, my LCS. That's right. One of the big missions of this show, using our platform, using our messaging, spreading, our activism, is for the American dream, the American way that Superman always spoke of in Up and Away, and truth, justice, and the American way. And part of that is local businesses and mom and pop brick and mortar shops, independent bookstores. That's what your local comic book shop really is. Salute to the local comic book shops, please. And I'm excited and enthused. I'm excited to see how our reading lists overlap too, as well. And hello, AL. Good to see you. Hope everything's doing well. From my Pika to all your plural Pikas. Pika P, Pikachu. We also have an unboxing to do at the end of the show. Look what I got. Dun, dun, dun. Is that a spoiler? Is that a hint? There you go. I mean, we're doing an unboxing. I haven't opened her up yet. No, we're saving this for the show. Yeah. Why not? I mean, it's one of the crowdfunders of notoriety. And as always, pay attention to the copious amounts of show notes provided to me by my executive producer, a Pikachu. That's right. I'm just the talent. I read what Pika writes down. Okay, and in the back over here in the control booth, we have Canadian Bear and Critical Drinker and the Ghost of Cecil, I believe, along with Frozen and Carbonite Han Solo. Haha. Lane Kramer, good to see you. Indeed. Nice. So have I. I had a good time reading those. Let's see. Well, I read actually 55 new comics this week. I got my pirate booty all mixed up, something a little earlier. And I was like, oh, I forgot about you. How could I? You guys count. I've literally read 55 different stories, 55 different threads in a way by 55 different sets of creators. Some of those creators overlap, and everything. Oh my goodness. We are blessed in with the presence of the man of many pizza. It's Nick Weiser. Hey Nick, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. And but I bought 7 comic books this week. I spent about $30 at my local comic book shop. Like last week, I picked up a short box because I need them because of all these, I do pick up bags and boards, and I get them at my local comic book shop. I agree to pay the retail markup. Why? Because like I was just saying about Superman, truth, justice, and the American way. And the American way is small businesses in our local, our localities, in our town squares. They're not big box stores. They're not our online supply chain with the mad discount and the free shipping and the built-in movie network. That I love and I use too. No. I mean, seriously, spend your money at your local comic book shop. Get your supplies there. You might need boards. You might need bags. You might need some short boxes. Hey, we're getting older. I noticed that, hey, the older we get, the heavier these long boxes get. So I switched over all my long boxes into short boxes. That was we did that like last year. That was a great excuse to go long box diving and look at old comic books. Nothing but these old floppies and getting like really into like the Overstreet price guide, its rating system, and the auxiliary Overstreet guide to grading comics. There are links to those in the description or even maybe perhaps ask your local comic book shop and they can order you a copy and you can buy it through them. The Overstreet guide to grading comics made me realize something very, very important. I should have been using boards the entire time. My collection, my accumulation has so much spine roll that they are very far from even recouping their cover value. All they have is sentimental value. I grew up and I have had about 8 long boxes. Now I've got about 15 or 16 short boxes right now. And some of them have to go, I think. I really do. Let's catch up with the chat real quick. Everyone's filing in. We got Lane Kramer in the house. Good to see you. You just read Blood Hunt 2. We're going to talk about that. We didn't talk about Ultimate Black Panther #4, which is odd because I'm not buying Ultimate Black Panther, but I'm enjoying it leagues ahead of any satisfaction I'm having with Peach Momoko's Ultimate X-Men, something that I've gone to bat for. You know what I mean? It is, but TMNT Saturday Morning Adventures is pretty fun, and that's all there is to it. And we're all about fun in funny books. Well, let's get to it. Let's start reviewing some comic books. We had 27 independent comic books: Dark Horse, IDW, Boom, Mad Cave, other distributors. Hey LT, good to see you, buddy. Good, welcome. It's time to talk about some comic books. 27 independent comic books. We've read 16 Marvel comic books and 12 different DC comic books for the big 2, and that's 55. And as Sammy Hagar said, I can't drive 55. Oh, yeah, I nailed that. Oh. Well, it takes 2 months. I'll take all day. Ugh. It took me 16 hours get to LA. Go on and write me up a 125. Oh, my name, it won't get out of line. Take my license, all that jive. I can't drive 55. Oh, yeah. Pika, give us my backup vocals. Let's have some fun. Let's talk about some comic books. Let's talk about some independent comic books, some Image comic books. You ever heard of Dark Ride by Joshua Williamson? Well, it just wrapped up over on Image. It's 12 of 12 issues. It's Joshua Williamson as creator writer, Andre Bresson as creator artist, and it's a really interesting kind of meta look at family-owned amusement parks maybe being in league with the devil in order to be popular. And what's up, Nordporial? Good to see you. And happy Orthodox Star Wars Day to everybody. And I'm enjoying that feeling all weekend long. And I'm thinking about making it a month-long extravaganza from now on. Going forward, May will be Star Wars month. It will be. Celebrated in my home. Let the people have May the 4th. Let them, allow them. Let's not poop on them. But also George Lucas's birthday is what, on the 14th? Frank Oz's birthday is on the 25th. I mean, Peter Cushing's birthday is today. The premiere of Star Wars was on May 25th, 1977. The premiere of Return of the Jedi was on May 25th, 1983. The premiere of Empire Strikes Back was May 21st, 1980. May could and should be Star Wars month. That's my cold sell. That's my elevator pitch to you. Make it happen. Make it so. I know that's the wrong, one, but I like, playing around. But yeah, Dark Ride 12 of 12. It's really interesting. I've read the past couple of issues of it, and it had me at like issue 9 or 10. You know what I mean? Almost here you are going to act 3. I didn't get any of the setup to it. But sometimes a good comic book, a good floppy, you don't need all that. You know what I mean? You can hop on at any part in the serial. And it was a good testament to that. It didn't need all the expository language of it. It just, it's a basic enough story that you can hop on late. And you can always go back and refamiliarize yourself with the rest. Dark Ride by Joshua Williamson as well, who's doing so much stuff on DC Comics, who is doing all this stuff for Skybound Comics with the G.I. Joe Energon universe. He still has time to have something publishing, some creator-owned stuff, original IP stuff over on Image. And it's a complete tale. It's just 12 issues, a closed story, and it was pretty darn good. If you like Joshua Williamson when he's on fire, no pun intended, because Dark Ride's has inferno and hell overtones. It's a horror book. It is, and it uses its value of comic book with its unlimited special effects very well. We just talked about an indie comic book you've never heard of for 2 minutes. Check it out. You know what I mean? Or it's just we got Fish Flies number 6. Okay, we start sharing some screen, Sully. Hello, the people are paying for something. No, I know no one's paying for anything. This is free entertainment. This is Fish Flies by Jeff Lemire. This is going about 2 more issues, and this is issue 6. Jeff Lemire wrote this and he drew it too. Kind of like what he did with Trillium too. So, and look, it's got a very, very, it's not that it doesn't have colors. It's got they use colors very, very sparingly and very, very few and far between. But this is Fish Flies. This is a comic book. And I say that it's like, this is comics, perhaps with an X instead of a CS. This is good stuff. This is something that's flying under your radar. This is what the people at the comic book shop who work there are probably talking about. I mean, this is an Image book. It's Lemire doing his thing. I'm in love with this book. I really am. I should be buying it. I caught on to it late, It's hard to find too. I mean, your store is probably not going to have more than 1 or 2 copies for the shelf, if anything. I mean, who's buying Fish Flies? This is a 52-page floppy. They have been 60 pages as well. I mean, you know, it doesn't have a price on here. I think it's like $5 or $6.99. You know, and it's coming to an end in an issue or two. But that's about it for Fish Flies. I'm liking it a lot. Ice Cream Man number 39. This has been the first issue of Ice Cream Man that I've ever read. And it's actually an interesting issue because this is a good jumping on spot for a new reader. I like the formatting. And one thing I love about these image books, the Boom books, the IDW books, is their formatting, their design. Look at the design of this credits page. You know what I mean? We have the indicia on this page. We have the credits on this page. It's called Decompression Interact Part 1. So this is, part 1 of a new arc. I'm totally unfamiliar with it's $6.99 for Fish Flies in real life. Thank you, Elithador. Exactly. It's nothing, but it's mood, and I think it's macabre. It's got that Twilight Zone kind of thing to it. I like that a lot in a story. But yeah, I mean, I like the formatting of these. This story is only 5 seconds long, and it's a flashback, and so it's all about how time slows down, and like one of those, like, you know, in a traumatic experience. There's Monolith number 1. This is of 3, and it took me I was on page 17 when I figured out, hey, this is a Spawn universe book, and it says so right on the cover too. See the trade dress, and it says New You right there. Well, that's the new Spawn universe. That's one thing that McFarlane's doing over on his. He's trying to suck you, or try to get you in for $2.99 an issue. And also a great place for him to advertise his beautiful action figures. It's and make new action figures, and geez, whatever he draws is toyetic. And I'm not a big Spawn fan, but you know, I liked Monolith 1. It was fine. We had Napalm Lullaby number 3 by Rick Remender and Bengal. And this is very digital for me. Don't know how long this is going on as a series, but this is, I don't even think I think I might have skipped issue 2, but it's like this. Is this life within a video game? Is this like Tron level stuff? This is Precious Metal number 1, $5.99, 60 issues of story and art in this book. This is so Euro. If I see this, I'm going to get this from the world of Little Bird. I have no idea what Little Bird by Bertram and Van Polgeest is. I really don't. But what I do know is that this is so Euro. This is so Mobius to me. This is so Jodorowsky, Alejandro Jodorowsky to me. This is so Humanoids. You know, I'm loving every inch of this art. The lettering. I mean, Hassan Osmani Allahu is on the cover of this. He is nominated for an Eisner this year. He is everywhere. He is like what Mugatu said about Hansel in Zoolander 1. He's so hot. Hansel, he's so hot. You know, seriously, Precious Metal. This is a good comic book. It's so it's sci-fi, and it's grotesque, and it's alien. Napalm Lullaby isn't in the video game. Good. It feels that way though. I'm walking into it, you know. Yeah, and exactly. Yeah, I had never really read Spawn until recently when it started showing up in my my pirate chests. And Spawn 351 is my touchstone after what 30 years of Spawn being released, and that's cool. Eisner doesn't mean anything. Kinda, yeah. I mean, it means a lot to them inside the industry. It really is. I mean, it reminds me one time, a long time ago, in the early 2000s, and it was Chris Rock's first or second time hosting the Oscars, and he was being interviewed by Howard Stern way back on his FM radio station, and he's telling him, "This is Howard Stern before he, turned heel." Um, Telling Chris Rock that you're going to bomb. And Chris Rock's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I'm going to bomb. He's like, listen, those people take that thing very seriously. Your sense of humor is just too acute for their sensitivities. They take this so seriously. And Howard Stern called that from 100 miles away. Chris Rock bombed that Oscar that year. He's come back to host it a few times, most notably the other, a couple of years ago when he got slapped in the face by Will Smith, but hey, I bet you Chris Rock will never make another Jada Pinkett, Smith joke ever again on stage or in front of them. That, hey, you got to sit, I don't know. Rat City 2, I skipped that. Yeah. Red Coat number 2, was interesting. We have Albert Einstein as a young 13-year-old, a sidekick to Redcoat. And that's about it. Yeah, we had Spawn 353. Speaking of Spawn, that was really entertaining. So well done. Saint Mercy, Volume 2, Godland, Issue 2. This was a really interesting book. It was like part like Native American, Mesoamerican gods meets 1930s Hollywood crime noir. And comic books are such a great place that you can mix up kind of genres like that. And it's got some interesting art, really interesting panels. I mean, I was really satisfied and pleased just by walking into this story. I like that. I like when that happens. I love being surprised. I love finding a new book to just get into. The Cabinet number 4. This is not made for me at all. It's just like so purple and it's so digital and it's just a lot of talking. And I mean, who's this made for? Are they buying floppies? I mean, can we be pickier about what we release? Why couldn't you have released this as an original graphic novel? I know. Phil the Kill. Hello. How are you, buddy? Good to see you. Let's see. Elithidor says, Rook Exodus is awesome. Not technically a dystopian world, though. Well, it post up. Well, okay, you've got Earthlings who left to settle another planet. So it was definitely utopian in mind. So when a utopia goes tits up and pear-shaped, is that dystopia by its own fair nature? This is what we're here for. These comic book shop style conversations. Getting geeky. This is the geeky chill stream you've been looking for. Tune in, tell a friend, hit that share button. Let people know. Smash that like button. Turn on those notifications. Ring that bell. Bring a friend. Seriously, especially if they're single. Hi. What else did we read? Weatherman number 5. Weatherman Volume 3, number 5. I like, once again, let me tell you, like, look at the trade dress. Look at the design of a magazine. This is a cover of a periodical publication, $3.99 for this, for this slice of a serialized book. And I really like this. I like this formatting. And This is an interesting book. I like that it's, well, not because it's digital, but you have hand-drawn onomatopoeia. I mean, that goes a long way. A lot of it too is just like drawing your finish thing and then just like taking a pen and using like the white delete and making you see that? You see what I'm seeing? But still, it's like I much prefer something like that over. Look at all that, like, you know, over cut and paste. The artist has chose to make the sound effects part of the panel. That fuels me up. I like that in a comic book. Thank you. It was also Sunstone, Mercy, Volume 8. I'm not going to show that. That's a Stefan Sajak Euro-style erotica. It is. Can we show that one? Should we? Why is it taking forever to load? Pika, why don't you do your job and have these materials ready for us? You know, when we had the show on. I mean, no, I really don't want to show Sunstone. Yeah, it's because it's smutty. Seriously, it's legitimately smut, and I don't want to, like, you know, get any strikes or anything. Lithidor's digging Rat City. The art is really good. Not sure what McFarlane found the guy. Exactly. McFarlane's got some aces up his sleeve. One of them is on lettering. He's been hiring Tom Orzechowski. I've seen Tom Orzechowski's name show up on Todd stuff, especially in this Spawn universe, the new Spawn universe. Let's see, what else do we have? What other comic books do we have? Let's share this page then. And thank you all for tuning in and making comic books a part of your day. You know what I mean? And part of your life. Like, we are the hobbyists. We are like the people that, like, you know, we're the lifeblood of this. We're the audience. It's like we can claim that these creators make stories for themselves, their agents, and to get as a jumping stone to somewhere else, such as a lucrative Netflix deal. But when it comes to it, Angela was well used, I feel, in this week's issue of Immortal Thor by Al Ewing. So stick a pin in that, Lane, and remind me when we bring that up. I'd like to, because it's bringing, I didn't know that was her shoehorned history in the Marvel universe. We'll get there we'll get there very shortly. Trust me. Blood Squad 7, number 1, by Joe Casey. And this is basically spinning out of what he was laying down on Dutch's issues 0 through 3. So those are 4 issues. It's getting the team back together. This thing is over the top, kind of Russ Wooten on letters. I like letters. I brought that up yesterday on Wes's Thinking Critical. I think, you know, because, you know, it's we talk about comic books. It's letterings, bring up lettering once in a while. I mean, it needs some spotlight. I mean, lettering. If you're in a rock and roll band, your letterer would be what, your keyboardist. You know what I mean? But you need that, especially if you're like Journey or the Allman Brothers Band. You know, you need, you know, that aspect. Excuse me. I'm drinking beer. It's a weekend. It's a holiday weekend. I'm literally on vacation too. Don't be surprised if Wednesday's show is live. No spoilers. Don't be surprised. Yeah, I'm on vacation right now. So Blood Squad 7, it was a little, you know, it's an issue 1. It should have been a bit more accessible. Oh, the turkey's done. Remember that? The turkey's done? Do that to remind me to throw another log on the fire, to throw another Dan Slott comic book into the fire. Okay, here's a great one. I'm glad I took the time out of my day to go through this. 164 pages. This is a trade paperback. This is Rob Liefeld's Blood Strike, Battle Blood. This is some Image stuff. And it's like story and art by Rob Liefeld. There is something called the Brigade Number 1 remaster. They're basically, they just, you know, this like murderer's row of talent. Draw different panels, redraw different pages. And our dearly departed friend Ed Piskor drew this one. You know, and Rob had put the most heartfelt message after Ed Piskor's untimely passing. But Bloodstrike 1, this was funny. It's fun, and it was funny. It's over the top violent. It's very accessible. I knew nothing about these comic book, these superheroes or anti-heroes or mercenary kind of characters. I recognized a few from those, you know, the Image stuff, because I wasn't really that into it. The Image stuff, you know, I came across Image later. Like basically, like, what was my Image gateway drug? It had to have been Walking Dead early on. Yeah, I loved Walking Dead, that black and white, and just, it came out every month. Hey, what's up, Mark McGrath? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, I saw a few episodes of The Max. I liked the aesthetics, but the story was convoluted. I loved Liquid Television on MTV. That was good times. I loved everything about those. That was just like experimental cinema, experimental, you know, avant-garde animations. I mean, Eon Flux I had the Eon Flux box set on VHS that had, you know, the entire collection. It came with a really nice sticker of the eye with the fly on it. And, well, when you get a haircut, make sure you go back home. For when you get a haircut, trust a barber you have known. Since you was a little baby kid sitting in a booster chair, you might look like Larry Moe or Curly if a stranger cuts your hair. Do, do, do. That's from Ray Stevens, the haircut song. Yeah, thanks. But yeah, this Bloodstrike issue was really satisfying. Yeah, it's 164 pages. I can see where John Malin gets that aesthetic from working with him. This thing just starts off in medias res, and in the middle of a captured anti-hero, strung up and looking for an evac. It's over the top. It's gross. It has a sense of humor. I like it. It's really fun. Bloodstrike, trade paperback 1. Cobra Commander 5 of 5, talking about some more Joshua Williamson, who's doing great at DC and at Image. Hello, James. Good to see you. Thank you. It's Cobra Commander 5 of 5. All I'm going to do is show you this. The design. I like the design of this. It looks like secret documents. I mean, it's Energon Universe. We have, you know, see EU up there. It's that magical looking EU thing. You see that underneath Cobra Commander on the trade dress right here, with the issue number? That's Energon Universe. That's what separates this from G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, which is set in its own Larry Hamaverse. That one has been going on. G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero has been going on. This iteration of it here, this volume 1, is from Marvel. Now, Devil's Due had the property, and they had a volume 2 that was several years after the last Marvel issue. And so that's specifically, that's its own alternate future. While the IDW went ahead and just published the next issue in Marvel's numeration. I think it was 155 to 156. I think. Void Rivals, number 9. And I read this and I liked it. I usually don't read Void Rivals. That's Springer, ladies and gentlemen, the Autobot Springer. At the beginning of it, yeah, that was closer to the it might have had something to do with the person coming out of their coma to find themselves to be like half a body, and they have a nigh invulnerability. So he wants to get back, and this is where the joke starts, because he's missing his manhood. And so when he gets an emergency evac, he gets an emergency regeneration, which lacked his manhood. So he looks like a Ken doll. And so his motivation is all about getting his junk back, his wedding tackle, his penis, and it's a lot like Deadpool as a character too. I mean, so if you had to make the, comparison, I guess it was obvious to me. See, I like these onomatopoeia. The art style in this book has grown on me. Okay, who is this? Leonardo Manco? No, for Lorenzo De Felici. And has he been consistent since issue 1? Not sure. But still, I mean, it was perfectly decent. Void Rivals 9. The Butcher Boy 1. That was a lot like the beginning of a horror movie. It's just another. It's a horror movie. It's pretty okay. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Saturday Morning Adventures, number 13, was really fun. It ended up being very fun, because it's the cartoon versions. Leonardo leads, Donatello does machines, Raphael, he's cool but rude. Give me a break. Michelangelo is a party dude. Party! With Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a half shell. Turtle power. I just did that. But that's also the information page when you open up the book. That's like it's dramatis personae, as Chris Claremont would say at the beginning of a Uncanny X-Men book with Jim Lee. I liked it a lot. The Butcher Boy was good. You have to like horror and gore. You do. Exactly. Because I've noticed a trend in art lately. There are headless, beautiful women that are headless and sometimes topless too. And I'm like, ooh, are we like, is that, is it okay to show victimization of women once again in fiction? And does this mean Winds of Winter will be coming out any minute now? And Conan the Barbarian, number 11. What an amazingly beautiful book. It's really just, I'm not a Conan fan traditionally. This has just been so good. I feel bad that I'm not buying it. I feel bad that I'm not paying for it. I mean, I love the art. I love the narrative boxes. I love the word balloons. I love the story being told. These pages. Look at that. Look at this is so old school. This page, the way it's designed. I am loving this. This is the line work by Della Torre is just amazing. I'm just so happy to look at this book and to read it. There's a lot going on. There's a lot tying into Kull the Conqueror or King Kull. There's some weird time travel going on. What else do we have? Sam and Twitch case files number 3. This is the new Sam and Twitch. And Sam and Twitch has been going on for a while. I remember this when it was hard. It's always been part of the Spawn universe. I'm pretty sure about that. But it's always just been like some CSI homicide thing with supernatural angle and gore, and always with these unique lettering. They don't use balloons. They just use this like open text thing. I'm sorry. No, please don't be triggered by these images, because it shows horrific violence on the page. But if you can see here, this is the classic lettering style I'm used to seeing in Sam and Twitch books for 20 years or so. And also, like I told you, Tom Orzechowski, legend, he's lettering this book. So it's like, oh wow, it's interesting because that is obviously not hand lettering. We got Feral number 3 from the creators of Stray Dogs. Tony Fleeks with art by Trish Forster. Forstner. And I like the design of that. It's simple, to the point. You know, you got like these ats over here. So what are that? Is those Twitter handles or those Instas? Who knows? Who cares? Take your pick, you know? And here we have this style, but I love it. That here you go, like you have the cat having an associative memory of following the laser pointer, and they are being hunted, and it just falls into like, you know, survival mode. Once again, I appreciate the hand-drawn onomatopoeia. What appears to be, it could be. I could be wrong. All those bangs look identical. All that gunfire sound. Maybe that's you know, they're identical in different sizes. These are just dropped and dragged, clicked and pointed, thrown on top of an image. And that's Feral. I mean, I got issue 1. Lettering is kind of a lost art. Yeah, thank you for, you know, and I don't like that strange lettering. Yeah, and Sam and Twitch, it was always kind of a turn off in a way, but I respect exactly. I respect that they've kept consistent over the years. That is the style of the book, and it was provocative. It's attention getting. You know, it's unusual. You don't see stuff like that a lot of the times. Let's see. What else did we read? We read Forge number 8. I've read a bunch of these, to be honest with you. This is a 64 pages of art and story. Lots of these. Now, if you think that Jonathan Hickman has made you sick of memo pages, oh, well, have you know where he got that from? It was Greg Rucka. I mean, Greg Rucka has been doing this for 30 years in books. He's always got. Greg Rucka has always had the strong, stunning, and brave female lead. Always. All right. So him doing this story here is no surprise. This is a magazine format. This is oversized on your shelf at your LCS. Cardstock variant, cardstock cover. It's got perfect binding. What does that mean? It means it's not staple bound. It's got a binding that has a spine, and you can actually have trade dress on the spine itself. It will say the Forged Rucka, Troutman, Henderson, number 8. And this is like Game of Thrones meets Dune meets the women that have been just foisted upon Warhammer 40K. Like, this would make a great Warhammer 40K story for your all-female girl squad and stuff. Following, it's in a matriarchal society with an empress, and like, there's courtly intrigue and men serve their purpose, but it's basically, then all women kill teams, all women soldiers, which is also very Frank Herbert Dune in a way too. If you've read my favorite Dune book, it's part 4, The God Emperor of Dune, and his entire army. He's over 4,500 years. He's gone from a fanatical Fremen army to a very controlled, curated, all women fish speakers. The fish speakers were his Leto II's personal army, and they said that women had greater respect for violence because they create life, and it was perfectly acceptable for fish speakers to retire for times at a time to have and raise children, and it was just like, but they were like a bigger stature and a greater musculature, and yeah, so it's no use calling Greg Rucka the W word, woke. He invented that shit. Rook Exodus 2. I mean, I'm going to show some of this wonderful Jason Fabok art. I bought this. This is good stuff. And it is 36 pages of story and art for $3.99. Well, I think it's 22 or 24 pages. And there's a preview at the end. So just this Jason Fabok art is amazing. Now, and here's an instance where you're drop and drag, cut and paste, onomatopoeia the digital way. This is where it's better done. It's so obvious that it is digital and dropped and dragged. It's just it's a bit more mindful to the artists, to the art, to the panel, to being, it feels like, the coloring isn't disjointed, and that it totally sets it apart. It's something artificial and just slapped on there. I mean, you know what I mean? You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? But Rook Exodus #2, that was a great comic. I'm glad I got the last issue that was on the shelf at my LCS. Rogue Sun 19. Is anyone reading Rogue Sun? This is part of Image's massive verse, whatever that is. And Becca Carey is the letterer. I mean, it's good to see all these names and stuff, and to get familiar with, like, who's out there, who's making content, who's making stories. This is an interesting issue too, because halfway during the story it flips upside down, kind of like any issue of Local Man, and tells the story backwards. And I don't know if it works. I'm not sure. It was kind of disjointing. I don't really know this story as well either. So, I'm just visiting. So I'm not like, it was perfectly okay as a comic book goes. Let's catch up with the chat real quick. I appreciate the well done spine. I need much more for $7. Yeah. As a woman, I'm sick of strong female leads. Give me a good masculine lead already. I have both a son and a daughter, and I want strong leads for both. Huzzah. What else we have? Nottingham, #12 from Mad Cave. This is the first issue of Nottingham I've ever read. This has been suggested to me, especially by the guys at Wes's Thinking Criticals panel. They were like, yeah, Nottingham, check this out. It's it's like Robin Hood meets Game of Thrones. And it's pretty brutal. And it was an interesting jump on spot, for a new reader. Here I am. This is ongoing. I love Robin Hood stories. So all the characters, are familiar. And so you just drop right into these events and you're like, oh, wow. Catches it real quickly. Speaking of Local Man #10. Local Man #10. Love this book. This is just, it's fun. It's irreverent. It's mature. It's not for everyone, but it's one of the best superhero books out there because it plays with the genre, with like basically new and independent characters with great cameos from, that image age. I'm really liking it. Holy Roller, number 6. I read this, didn't I? This was interesting. By Andy Samberg and Rick Remender. Andy Samberg is a comedian, right? He's one of those TV comedians. He's on Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Is that it? I don't watch that show. Letters by Russ Wooten. Get to know your letterers. They're out there. And I mean, this is, here we go. This is modern comics. Holy Roller. Yeah. Whatever it is. What else was The Haunted Girl? I didn't read that. Forged Feral. Okay, and that's it for independent comic books. That's right. We'll mosey right over to Marvel Comics. Shall I present this page? Did y'all have a good Star Wars day yesterday? I insist that I like to say that, I'm Orthodox and celebrate on the 25th, but I'll celebrate all month long. I will. And then maybe on Memorial Day, which is a real day for real fallen, warriors in real life, we can, celebrate that day and just, be like, today we won't talk about Star Wars. We won't talk about fiction. We'll just respect reality and the cost of what's going on with our, with our freedoms and our world, and how we got here, and how we'll get to where we're going. Yeah, tomorrow's Memorial Day. Not to be confused with Veterans Day. Veterans Day is for the living. Memorial Day is for the dead. People men and women, and anyone in between at this point, in the great spectrum of humanity, here in this future, this 21st century that we live in, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Elithidor really dug White Boat from Distillery. I'll pick it up next week if it's still there, I guess. I mean, I'm not thrilled with the format, but it's weird. I mean, I pick up Francesco Francavilla's art with just things just for him. I did pass on his Rosenberg stuff with the Joker, the man who didn't laugh. So, and especially he, all that, the Joker mud baby thing. Are we still talking about that? I mean, wasn't that just Clayface trying to, escape something? He was in something. Now, here's one of my favorite X-Men books of recent note. And it's Steve Fox's X-Men 97. This is only 4 issues long. It's got nothing to... It's not adapting any of the episodes. It's a prequel. So, it's, but it's really good. I like this. Once again, design. Let's look at the design of this book. There's a great cover by Todd Knock. I'm loving that cover. Loving that classic Rogue. As Cyclops takes up the reins of leadership of the X-Men from his departed mentor, Professor X, mutant kind moves into a brave new world in which public opinion has begun to sway towards acceptance. This does not sit well with the factions of humankind, unwilling to give up on hate and fear. Meanwhile, darker threads head the X-Men's way in the form of the Marauders, a team of evil mutants who have ambushed the heroes, led by Sabretooth, as at the behest of Mr. Sinister. That's a really weird sentence. A team of evil mutants who have ambushed the heroes as the heroes, led by Sabretooth, at the behest of Mr. Sinister. And it's supposed to give this but that's not really 90s looking. That's 80s looking. I mean, that's what I believe. Look at that. Like the design wise, does that scream 97 to you? No, that screams like 89 to me. It's like, maybe even like 92. I'm thinking like Saved by the Bell, like the menu at the max. But I mean, it's decent. I mean, the art's very, it's just, look at the backgrounds. This is as digital as you can get. I mean, this is like a zero effort kind of magazine. I am not trying to punch down on Salva Espin or Matt Milia or, you know what I mean? Or any of the gang here. Okay. What I do feel is that Steve Fox, his story elevates the mediocre art into something, likable. I mean, because now you have very iconic versions of the X-Men here. I'm loving this. This is like a Storm. This is a Wolverine I can really get with. There's Rogue, and she's like, she absorbed way too much power, and I'm just really, really enjoying the heck out of this, especially like Beast. He just sounds like himself, and it's just a lot of it's simple. It just boils down to Mr. Sinister wanting to manipulate, the mutant gene future through his prime, specimens of Scott Summers and Jean Grey. Just it's pretty cool. I haven't watched any of the new X-Men. Now, this has been the best Blood Hunt tie-in I've read, probably of all of them. I mean, the Doctor Strange 15, and Avengers 14, play pretty close to the hip because they're both written by Jed McKay. But this one on its own, this is great because we got some delicious art by Kev Walker. He's got actual inks by Craig Young and Bellardino Bravo. But I mean, just I'm loving this style. This is over the top. It's pretty violent. And there's a nice balance between obvious digital effects and then some really good hand-drawn onomatopoeia, like here. On this page right here. I mean, just here. That's all done by the artist. I'm loving this. And and it's Union Jack. He's a British superhero, and he's saving. This is like what's going on in England, But look at all this. Look at that splutch that Jack takes off the head of a vampire. I love that. But it's so authentic looking. It's just it doesn't stand out like with a digital, like with an otherness. It is cohesive to the image. I mean, hey, Mo, salam and good day. Thank you from halfway around the world. Mo is here. Thank you so much. This was fun because I mean, who remembers who Union Jack is at the time? So this was made to be walked into where you can be like, oh, okay, I'm into this. This is a decent story. Ultimate Black Panther 4. Stephen Casale, Brian Hill writing. A lot of intrigue, palace intrigue, a lot of fighting, a lot of really good art. but it's a lot of palace intrigue stuff, you know, and it's okay. It's just like, it's just more moving parts and a bigger overstory, you know. Yeah, it's okay. And I like it story-wise, use of characters. I like it so much better than Ultimate X-Men, which I'm buying, that I go to bat for, because I love Peach Momoko, and I just like, by issue 3 of that, I'm like, oh gosh, where are the X-Men in this? Please hook us up. Symbiote Spider-Man 2099, written by Peter David. Really interesting art, and interesting, you know, sometimes like these colored word balloons, just like, I mean, just I'm convinced that, you know, that with the white text is made to be read on a tablet. Ooh. Clobber in Time was awesome. Nope. I loved Union Jack. Yeah, exactly. You can get exactly. I mean, I there's this one store I go to, the Magic Dragon in Arlington. It's my secondary LCS, and every time I go there, I mean, I love going through the long boxes and just all the Civil War stuff that isn't even in a bag with a board. They're just loose. And it's the stuff that I didn't even get. And I got a shitload of Civil War stuff. It's like Civil War Shattered Images, Civil War, like, you know, Repercussions, Civil War Accounts Payable, Civil War Feelings Hurt, you know. But yeah, you can, any of these you're going to find pretty much in the sale bin one of these days. We got Superior Spider-Man by Dan Buslot and Christos Gage, with line art by Mark Bagley and inks by John Dell, and Andrew Hennessy, of course. Yeah, it's at least it's kind of fun. It tries to be fun. I mean, Superior Spider-Man might be what you're looking for, and then over-the-top Spider-Man story that's not weighed down by Zeb Wells's you know, handling of the character and his handling of the serialized story as well. Slott, all things considered, just he's got a good handle on the character, and especially with the Superior Spider-Man angle, which he wrote the first time. So it's got a lot to do with Doc Ock, and it's got a lot to do with Spider-Boy as well. Another, you know, Dan Slott creation. Bailey Briggs, who was erased from history and memory. Exactly. Star Wars 46. We have celebrated Star Wars all weekend. I was blessed and grateful. Yesterday at 8 a.m., I started off, you know, Brandon Jones, Pops, here on the internet. Pops celebrates May 25th all day long with all day Star Wars content. And it's his goal to be positive, and to celebrate what we love the most. So he had me on a panel at 8 a.m. yesterday morning with Angry Canadian and James Harris, the Ginger Ninja. And just the four of us talked about original Star Wars, 1977, for an hour and a half. I had to leave a little early because I was on West that morning as well. So I was blessed and grateful. I did double duty yesterday. I did 2 big shows, and I was grateful and blessed to be on West. But this is Charles Soule's Star Wars. This is volume 2, maybe volume 3. Does it say so in the indicia? It'll say so in the DC at the last page. Let's see. Star Wars number 46. It doesn't say what volume number it is, because there was, Star Wars Volume 1 that lasted from 1977 to 1986, 107 issues. Then came 2015, Jason Aaron and John Cassaday's Star Wars run, the 1 million, floppies, issue number 1 of that, to be believed or not. And this is a new, and that was set between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, that Jason Aaron era. And this Charles Soule era is set between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So perhaps there'll be, I really feel there's a finality coming to Star Wars. It's issue 46. I think it's going to go 4 more issues. Okay, let's put some money on this right now. I will bet $1 Yankee dollar as a gentleman's bet. I'm not a betting person, but I'll bet $1 that Star Wars, this volume of Star Wars, wraps up at issue 50. And oh, hey JK, how are you? Haha. Exactly. Hi. Rogue Sun was really good. Yeah, I mean, I didn't understand. Can you explain that? Was it a divergent universe that happened in the flip around? Because when you flip it over, there's like not the same art as it was where you left it. It was kind of a little blurred. But see, I don't know the story well enough to know what is like universe tripping a thing, or is that like, was that time travel in the story, like going back panel by panel? But there seemed to be like just one, like a divergence in dialogue at the beginning. See, it was a bit much because I couldn't flip the screen upside down and read it like you would a floppy, like. But this is the trial of Lando Calrissian. See, this issue wasn't all that bad. Here, deliberations. Dun, 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 dun. In order to help his friend Lobot, Lando was forced to make a deal with the talkie droid that helped them once before, as well as confess to his traitorous misdeeds in the past, involving the droid in secrets that were sold to Jabba the Hutt. As Lando stood trial for these crimes before a committee. A committee! I am not a committee! I love this. We got no time to discuss this as a committee. And, okay. Thank you. And Mon Mothma has been kidnapped in the middle of Lando's trial. So it's all this talking stuff. And like 2 chicks talking in a room, talking. Like, oh, well, look, we got some flame troopers. Okay. But that's a memory. Talking. We are 12 pages into a Star Wars comic book. We finally get an old droidica. I can hear it from here. But look at that pew 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 sound effect. That onomatopoeia. That's let me blow this up some more. I gotta focus on this stuff, man. It looks so terrible. Pew pew pew. Trap droidicas. See that? Pew pew pew. And yeah, I mean, like, it's just so. This is a $4.99 comic book, and so yeah, there's this Lando eventually saves Mon Mothma, who is, he's on, she's the judge of his trial, but he goes and saves her anyway. He busts out of prison to save her. Something like that. I wish I could like it more, but it's not that it's bad. It's not that it's good. I mean, like I said about reading these Star Wars comics that are usually there's 9 or 10 of them a month in these pirate chests. I'm telling you, I read them all. This Phase 3 of High Republic is the pick of the litter. If you just want to, start off with the beginning. Okay, we got Stephanie Phillips with Spider-Gwen, the Ghost Spider. This is a Mark Brooks cover. And I'll leave it there. When teenagers Gwen Stacy suits up in her synthetic symbiote suit and web shooters, she gains amazing powers. A spider sense that warns her of danger, the ability to stick to walls with her adhesive fingertips and toes, and the proportional speed and strength of a spider, and the ability to throw and swing from webs. She is also a frequent traveler of the multiverse, often landing in Earth 616. But recently, Gwen had her flee her home, Earth 65, permanently, relocate to Earth 616, and abandon her life as a superhero. But you may still know her as Spider-Gwen, the Ghost Spider. Sorry. Gwen Stacy has traveled to other dimensions, battled the clones, and saved Dazzler from the deranged scientist and superfan, Bruce Banner of Earth 65. Now she's a teenage girl without a past and an uncertain future as a newly permanent resident of Earth 616. Because Gwen Stacy, it elaborates to that here in the beginning, because Gwen Stacy was loved. And it shows her snap. I mean, this is Peter's fault. This is original ending. All right. I approve of that. All right. Sure. And this is actually, I'm just going to say that, it's because, Gwen Stacy is dead in Earth 616. Her name is Gwen Stacy. That's her identity. She doesn't exist here. And and it's like, and they have some kind of whatever that, with the TSA, with that multiverse police force from Loki showed up in this too, and just to help her out, and they'd be like, "Hey, don't use your superpowers, kid." And she's like, "I'll use my superpowers whenever I need to because I'm a hero. I'm a shero." Fine. That's fine. Spectacular Spider-Men. Oh gosh, this was terrible. But it's all an illusion anyway. But it's I mean, it's like we got Humberto Ramos art. I mean, I love Humberto Ramos's art. Damn, but it's just so weak. Like story-wise, it's just like they're in some kind of I thought it was Mysterio, but it's arcade and a VR kind of thing. Arcade from the X-Men. What else do we have this week? We got Sensational She-Hulk number 8, written by Rainbow Rowell, drawn by Andres Genolet, and D. Cunniffe is the color artist. Jen's fun and sexy vacations plans have taken a hard left turn. This is not for everyone. I do like the page here with the dramatis personae on, you know what I mean? Beginning of every issue, they try to catch you up with what's going on and who's who. It's a romance book. It really is. This is a romance book with a superhero skin. And that's it. We get Ed Brisson's Predator, The Last Hunt, 4 of 4. on the 20th Century Studios imprint, and kind of like, looks like Pepe Larraz in a way. I mean, here's your here's your page here, your info dump. Sorry, I burped. I was drinking beers. And this is the final showdown between the girl boss and the predator, and they're like, it's not bad, and it's just like it's not obnoxious either. It just goes. It's a story. People die, people live. It's got one of those endings where like we could go somewhere else. I hear that Ben Percy is writing a follow-up to his Predator versus Wolverine called Predator versus Black Panther. So maybe these fit. I don't know how Last Hunt fits in, even if it does, or even if I even asked, oh my goodness, Adam Frey walking on the beach. That's great. I hope there's like a boardwalk with arcades, cotton candy. Hope it smells like fresh sea breeze and fried clams and fried French fries, and the things and bells of the skee ball machines just feeding out tickets that you can win your girl that teddy bear that she wants. I grew up here in Massachusetts, in Boston. We got the South and North Shores. We got boardwalks. We got arcades. We got stuff like that. My mom would take me to somewhere called Nantasket Beach on the South Shore as a kid. They used to have an amusement park with a big old wooden roller coaster. It's where I developed my fear of roller coasters. I mean, I got a fear of roller coasters. I hate motion rides. I was stung by a bee while we were on the Caterpillar ride. Caterpillar ride was a pretty safe for a younger person. I was about 4 or 5 years old, maybe 6. And it's like a round track. And so in the middle of it, the track goes up and down like this. It's very predictable. But during it being the Caterpillar, first it's exposed, you're open air, and then comes the canopy. And so it looks like from afar, it looks like a caterpillar, doing its inchworming. And while the canopy came over us, I was stung by a bee. And it's a true story, Phil. Yeah, totally, man. And I haven't been able to, dude, I was at fucking Disney when I was 23 years old. And I couldn't stand Space Mountain. I had bruises from the inside of my biceps from clutching onto the harness so hard. And that's not even worse. The worst is Star Tours. Remember old Star Tours? But before it was Hollywood Studios, we went to MGM, Disney, the MGM Studios at Disney, and saw the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular and the Toy Story Parade back when it was Toy Story 1. And Star Tours, which was basically a VR simulator, a motion simulator. I threw up after that. You didn't go anywhere. You didn't leave the bloody thing. It just tips up and down and like this and like that. And you're seeing I was like, I know, huh? Damn. But Sensational She-Hulk, yeah. I don't know. It's not terrible. But it's a romance book. I think it's written for, it's written for girls and sissies, okay? People who identify as doggy mothers and daddies. I mean, there's something about, straight boys. They don't, dogs. I'm not a doggy daddy. That's my property. That's my dog. He's lucky he's my friend. I'm sorry. I don't mean to say it like, but women and sissies think that. Well, I'm just cutting to the chase. I'm sorry. I know, but this is great Alex Ross cover here on Immortal Thor number 11, with where Thor has to assemble his siblings regardless of how far apart they are. But here it's just like it's Angela, firstborn Angela, who was lost to the realm of heaven, but it's not spelled with an A, it's heaven, in ages past, and has grown strong and swift there. And there's someone called, these are the children of Odin. And, Balder. There's a couple of others here and there. But I liked how they included Angela in there to give me a little info dump. Ghost Rider Final Vengeance number 3. It has a legacy numbering of 267. I get sick on any roller coaster. I threw up after a spinny teacup ride. Yeah, aw. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't do it. Yeah. Aw. That's funny. I stepped on a wasp and I milked it. Good. Kiddo loves Star Tours. Good. I would have had. I was an immersive Star Wars experience in like 1996. This was okay. Ghost Rider Final Vengeance. This is part 3 of it. So it's like Johnny Blaze has had the spirit of vengeance removed from him. It now resides in Parker Robbins, the super powered criminal known as the Hood. Happy 420. Things we can't do on YouTube. Why would you? Awesome. But yeah, so this issue of Ghost Rider was really good. I still think it's going to be all set up to pay off that Talia Warroad will come back from hell and be the new host of Xanathos as this girl Ghost Rider, while Johnny Blaze, who has just found some power of like this hell power within him in this issue, he was changed. He was never a metahuman, but after all these years of hosting the Spirit of Vengeance as Ghost Rider, he's got some superpowers. So he's going to use them now. Right on. Here we go. Coming to the end game. Part 5 of 5. $4.99. 28 pages of story and art. This is the end of the Fall of the House of X. This is the title of the book that has dominated the trade dress of X-Men titles and related books. Avengers have had Fall of the House of X books. Right before Blood Hunt, they had 2 of them. The past several issues of Invincible Iron Man have been all about Fall of the House of X. I just heard that Jerry Duggan is coming off of Iron Man pretty shortly. Will it go on? Who knows? There will always be an Iron Man book, and there will always be the legacy numbering too. And so this sets up some of the final fights. And once again, like I said, this Pepe Larraz kind of look. Pepe Larraz just did so much good stuff for X-Men. And he's doing Blood Hunt right now. But look, here's our dramatis personae. There's like 20 people right here. Dr. Stasis, Phylon, Nimrod, Omega Sentinel, Professor Xavier, Miss Marvel, Shadowcat, Penance, Storm, Colossus, Rogue, Psylocke, Quanon, Nightcrawler, Cyclops, Manifold, Wolverine, Emma Frost, Polaris, Magneto, Sync. I hate Cloverleaf's sinister design. That is Dr. Stasis. Yeah. He's one of the bad guys. Yeah. I mean, they're all bad guys, though. I mean, they're yeah. The Diamond Sinister is with the X-Men. Yeah. He's important to the, yeah. Let's see. The War. I don't want to read this now. Fuck that. Do you remember back in the day when lowercase was strictly for Ultimate Universe? And look at, like, I just want to say this, like, let's look at this fucking sound effect. I want to look at this sound effect. This BAMF. I like this. That was a nice moment. Father and daughter, superpowers, same kind of superpowers. She's literally his father's daughter. Same power set. I don't think any of that Magneto and Wanda and Pietro thing, Maximoff. Look at this BAMF. Look at that BAMF. Gee. But I like the rest of this. Look at that. He's got some decent, like, hatching and cross hatching here. Like, that looks like a real drawing. This is Quanon. Psylocke takes out Omega Sentinel from behind. What she does is takes out the Sentinel part, leaving, Karima. Yeah, that's her name. The host of Omega Sentinel, the human part of Omega Sentinel. Karima is horrified to what she did. I fried the Sentinel mind. Her human brain is drowning in regret and pain. She's in hell already. That's pretty fun. Look at that BAMF. Look at that. It's so cut and paste. But it's okay. I mean, it wasn't entirely terrible. And this will lead into Powers of the House of 10, Rise of the Powers of 10, number 5, and X-Men, Uncanny X-Men number 700, aka Jerry Duggan's X-Men Volume 6, number 35. Indeed. Uncanny 700. Should I get that? We've got Black Widow and Hawkeye by Stephanie Phillips, number 3. This is, for me, I don't know. What about you? Are you reading this? Are you exposed to this? Do you know what I'm talking about? Hold on one second. I'm going to make you just stare at that. Don't blame me, Pikachu. Beer goes in and beer goes out. Okay, that's the way it goes. Good night, Mo. Excuse me. Have a great day, a great night, and yeah, Stephanie Phillips. Yeah, I don't like the design. And it just, again, with this broken linear thing, it's just starts in flashbacks. But it's, good use of like, hey, that's the old Mark IV armor. I love the old, this is like, I don't know. This wasn't the worst issue of all of them. I'll say that. This one was, is decent, pretty tight to its own thing. We have Blood Hunt 2 of 5 by Pepe Larraz, written by Jed McKay. Around the globe, superhumans with a connection to the Dark Force dimension simultaneously lost control of their powers. The eruption blacked out the sun, creating an eternal night, which allowed vampires everywhere to launch a coordinated attack against humanity. Earth's heroes did their best to protect the innocent and control the chaos. The Avengers were tricked into allowing the Blood Coven, a group of superpowered vampires, into their headquarters and the impossible city. Fleeing, the Avengers were forced to leave a badly injured Thor, Black Panther, and Scarlet Witch in the hands of their new enemies. Blade, the vampire hunter, met with Doctor Strange and Claire at their sanctum, revealing that he is the mastermind behind the vampire invasion and mortally wounding Doctor Strange. And that has been your dramatic reading of the info dump page of Blood Hunt. Your key players: Blade, Bloodline, his daughter; Dracula, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange; Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Vision; Captain America, Iron Man. From the Midnight Mission, we have Hunter's Moon and Tigra. The Blood Coven. Now, these are really well-designed new bad guys. Love the design. And so this is issue 2 of 5. So we're getting the backstory is being revealed through the dialogue and interactions with the character, like a good superhero comic book, is usually known for. Bloodstorm 1, Megrim, Smoke Eater, Cruel, Damascene, Unusual. These are just really creepy, evil, macabre, strange, supernatural, vampire-based bad guys. Interesting stuff. Wow. And I'm liking this Pepe Larraz artwork a lot. Bloodline, the character, I think this is 20 years after Buffy the Vampire Slayer and its impact on writers and storytelling and heroes. It's just like, Bloodline could be Marvel's version of Buffy Summers. Is that all right with you? You think she'll earn it? She's Blade's daughter. With all of the modernity that comes with this character as well. Hey, Bone, good to see you. Cheers. How are you? Good to see everyone. Always is. Dracula. It's telling us, like, go see Dracula Blood Hunt #1. You can hold on. You can see it. Go see. It's like the asterisk in the editor's note. And I think I haven't seen a comparison, but I think like a panel like this, you see how it's so dark everywhere? I think that in the red band version is going to have more detail, like serious graphic carnage to earn that R rating. And I won't spoil the issue for you. Let's end the Marvel segment of this show with all of these Marvel books I read. This is Amazing Spider-Man issue number 50. It's a milestone, if you believe that. I mean, this is 73 pages of story and art for $9.99. And it has part of this Zeb Wells ongoing story about this major story point where Peter was infected with all this goblin energy, and all it needed was a trigger word, and Peter is turned into the Spider Goblin. And this is going to be the thing the show focuses on. I mean, the interesting splash page. I mean, that is a classic Spider-Man pose. I mean, I don't know how well this would work for any other hero except for Spider-Man, who crouches his body up in that fashion between webbings. And just there's a way Spider-Man gets around. And I think it's best shown. We have we have art by Terry and Rachel Dodson. Always great Black Cat. So Black Cat's on display here. Look at that onomatopoeia. I mean, that's just so. I think it takes away from the art. I mean, it's so artificial. It's just so arbitrary. Like it looks stretched out. Like, we're just gonna overlay, like, some letters. We're gonna just just it's. I'm having a hard time describing that. Yeah, thwip. This was catnipped. And it was a story written by Marv Wolfman. But you had penciler was Terry Dodson. Rachel Dodson was the inker. And Terry did the colors. And this is Time to Make the Donuts. Nikesh Shukla was the writer. Crisscross the artist. I didn't mind this one. This is about donuts, about eating. This was like a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man kind of tale, which I really enjoyed. It's like the guy that he gets a free donut from. He was like, "Oh gosh, I got to drop this off at my mama's place." He's like, "I got you." You know what I mean? And when he gets there, mom's like, Lionel sits with me for 20 minutes, And he's like, oh, "Okay." And he's like, "Why don't you stop and have something to eat?" We're like, "When was the last time someone ate for you? Cook for you?" And I don't know. It's about slow. It's a little about slowing down and about appreciating food, which I love because I'm a chef, and we need. She even says like food isn't Food is not fuel. It is a moment in time, a vibrant reminder of life, flavor, texture, taste. It reminds us of the simple pleasures. Like, did you teach Lionel how to make those donuts? No, I taught him how to make a loaf of bread. The rest he taught himself. As a professional chef, I often make the joke, you're a machine. You need fuel. Eat something. You'll feel better. But also, fuel is not fuel. Food is not fuel. Food is a moment in time. You know, just such a good, he just, Spider-Man loves, this is his favorite donut in Marvel Manhattan. And, and he makes a plan to come back and learn how to make bread, she's going to teach Spider-Man how to make a loaf of bread. I thought it was cute. I liked it, and this one here, this Lee Gatlin, this Spider-Man one was fun. So is it worth $9.99 for this 73-page beast? If you think so, sure. I mean, I don't, go just once you spend $1 or $2 more and get a really nice variant cover. That would be like the way to go. And we read how many? 12? 12 new DC comics. Wow. Including Alan Scott Green Lantern number 6 of 6, with great art by Sean Tormey, who's been consistent all series long, with that writer Tim Hugh Sheridan, for blocking me on Twitter for being part of a conversation about this very book, and I refuse to buy this book. I'm glad I was able to be tuned into it and from afar. It landed really weakly, my humble opinion. Yeah, just feelings, affirmations, yeah, I mean, I just, sure. There you go. Thank you. The art is good. The story, I like the whole Soviet Red Lantern Corps thing, that team. Like you had like the cosmonaut and the hot Russian, babe with an AK-47, and you had like, the Iron, it was just like the whole like the team pastiche thing. I really I like that they all had a part of like the Crimson Flame of anger there. And and it was like the JSA, and it was like the JSA are like, oh, let's stand back. I think he's about to end this, and but then at the end of it, it's like, who is modern Alan talking to the entire time? Is a shadow in the background. Who's a living shadow, but his son, Todd Rice, son of him and Molly Main, the former Harley Quinn, the first Golden Age Harley Quinn, and his twin sister, Jenny Lynn Hayden, otherwise known as Jade, the green-skinned, has like Green Lantern-like powers. She's connected to the Starheart. While Obsidian, Todd Rice, the living shadow, was, just absence of light. And so these two characters came about in the early 1980s with Roy Thomas's in Infinity Incorporated, an Earth 2 second generation team. That was like the Earth 2 Teen Titans in a way. I was there for that. I loved pre-Crisis Infinity Incorporated. It was great. But yeah, it just ended like the last panel is like, remember, Alan, you are loved. with this like really weird kind of superhero pose too. I mean, just as you know, I just I'm glad that I really had an appreciation for Riley Rossmo's work over on the co-related Golden Age Sandman Robert Venditti book, which was another 6-issue new Golden Age mini. You know, I don't know. I mean, would I have bought this if I was never blocked on Twitter by Tim Sheridan? Maybe. I'm a huge Green Lantern fan. Sometimes I think I should be buying Philip Kennedy Johnson's War Journal because it's kind of pretty good. We'll get to War Journal in just a minute because that's War Journal number 9 come out this week. Let's just jump right into War Journal number 9 by Philip Kennedy Johnson. This I hear is wrapping up. It's this is only going 12 issues. Hey Nuke, how are you? Good to see you. To be sure, I don't buy it. I'm not buying tech. I read it as part of my Gotham Nocturna. It's been, you know, it is slow in points, yeah. Yeah. But I think it's a really great counterpoint to what's going on at Zdarsky's Batman, with or without Jorge Jimenez. I mean, at least you have something slow and juicy and with, like, you know, pretty actually off the charts good art over on Tech. I mean, I'm finding Tech to be like, if you're a Batman fan, maybe you should be reading Tech. It is slow. I mean, hey Jim, how are you? Good to see you, brother. Awesome. We're ladies and gentlemen, my friend Jim August of Weird Science Comics. He does reviews, and he's often near death too. He always got some kind of story to tell, and but he does. Jim does. That's Jim Werner of Weird Science. Give him a follow and be entertained. I am. It's got some good stuff. What else do we got? Yeah, Green Lantern War Journal number 9 was again like some really, really great pencil art by Montas, and that they stuck together as a battery. This has been going on since Green Lantern 1, 2, and 3. This was the backup feature in Jeremy and what started a year ago on Jeremy Adams' Green Lantern. And but I find the colors to be so reductive and garish. I mean, it's about light and it's about this emotional spectrum. And but I don't know. There's just there's just too much digital stuff on there. I would love to see a version of this that's just like lines, like line out earth. I would love to see a black and white of that. That would be fun. Jim August. Also check out Jim's Tech is slow. it happens. Yeah. I mean, yeah, this is cheers, man. Catwoman 65. Holy shit. Let me tell you, I've been liking this a lot, to be honest with you. Too much, perhaps. It's written by Teenie Howard. She's not. Does she deserve the flack she gets from the boys on my side of the aisle, perhaps. But I like seeing that she can at least, there's something in, she's got a story here, man. And this is 9 Lives, part 7 of 10. And I love the first 6 parts of this. Now, story-wise, this doesn't disappoint. It's pretty much just in there. You know, you're in the end game of it. It's like beyond Act 2, the Act 2 nadir, and we're going to Act 3. And we're gonna like land the story. It's got a pretty interesting conceit for Catwoman, using Catwoman after the Gotham War, and her ability to come back from death because of her exposure to this Lazarus meteorite. Or is it divine intervention? We don't know yet, but it's like it's unfolding. I love seeing Selena back in purple in a traditional looking. I love the first 2 artists on this were Stefano Raffaele and San Giacomo. I forget. They just like had some really, really nice line art. Knew how to draw women. Maybe have had a background in fashion, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I've been liking Catwoman for the past 7 issues. This is the weakest one so far, though, because the art in this is just fucking terrible. Yeah. Thank you, Jim. Yeah. Yeah. I thought this issue had that middle issue feel. You know, Lord keeps, wandering to progress things, What? Maybe I do. Yeah, Feral. Cool. I mean, I liked it. Fine. Nuke asks a question. Eric or Jim, did you read Nottingham? I read both. This was actually the first issue of Nottingham I've ever read. And I'm a huge Robin Hood fan. I love Robin Hood. Great story. Like, what's your favorite Robin Hood? My favorite Robin Hood would be that early 1980s BBC show version. And then like the actor left like in a second season and they had to replace him. So it kind of jumped the shark, like putting a new Robin Hood in there. Yeah. And then a couple of years after that came the Kevin Costner movie with the song. We did it all for love, all for one. No, that's the Three Musketeers movie. Which one was the Robin Hood movie? True, exactly, yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, just the art wasn't strong one bit in this book this week. And which is a shame because it's incongruent with what came before. I mean, hopefully Stefano Raffaele is he's got that Milo Manara thing. He's an Italian, artist. That form, the prettiness, the femininity. I really enjoy the first 3 issues of this. They were really good. Hellblazer 5. John Constantine Hellblazer, Dead in America, number 5. Stick a pin in that. We'll get to that in a minute. Nightwing number 114. It wasn't all that bad. Bruno Redondo has returned to land the plane that him and Tim Taylor started up. Tim Taylor's last arc on Nightwing, and it's Nightwing, so maybe this is. Who's this going to? Probably like Gail Simone or someone. Who does anyone know out there? Who has it been announced? Who is picking up Nightwing after Tim Taylor? I haven't heard yet. Am I interested? You never know. It's cheers. And happy Memorial Day weekend. Speaking of Memorial Day weekend, I'll show you this much. Fucking A, I loved this. This is one of the golden age facsimile issues. This is from August of 19. This is from August of 1941. So understand that the United States have even yet to enter World War II, which they will do in the Pacific Theater against Japan in December of 1941. So by January of 1942, that's when like the big U.S. war effort comes in. Now they helped out in Europe, but the U.S. did not officially enter the European theater until June 4th, 1944, V-Day. JK says, I haven't heard much about Hellblazer. I still don't like Taylor's Nightwing. I wouldn't mind Seeley back in Nightwing, but really wants Esposito or Adams. I mean, I can, after reading 10 issues of Tim Seeley on Local Man, I mean, I can see why Tim Seeley would be like, I was never, I missed that one. I wasn't there for that. It's always new. Is Howard's writing improving? I would say that every writer that's getting paid for these gigs should have at least one good story in them. You know what I mean? Regardless of how much we bag on them. And I want to see all of these writers succeed. I want to be entertained by all of their stories, especially if they're using these familiar characters and circumstances. I wish I could be enjoying Sensational She-Hulk. There's a lot of elements to it, like HBO's Sex and the City. I get that. And I really liked Sex and the City. To be sure, I love television, cinema, and sitcoms. And Sex and the City was one of the last greatest American 20th century sitcoms. I mean, seriously, it was a good show. That's just we have here is Military Comics #1, August of 1941. This was from Quality Comics. Quality Comics was a rival to National Periodical Publications, what would become DC Comics, because they published Detective Comics, DC for Detective Comics. Blackhawk Comics. So this is the first appearance of Captain Blackhawk and his, and that he's kept his iconic look too the entire time. And then after that, it's 60 pages of war comics. And the first ad we see, this would be in the inside cover for any fans out there of the movie A Christmas Story with Ralphie and his Red Ryder BB gun. You'll shoot your eye out, kid. Okay? Boys, enter now. Contents ends July 25th. Start shooting the Red Ryder saddle carbine BB gun. They say on the bottom here with the indicia, Mary Javins. Here, let me just get rid of me because the comic reprinted here was produced in a time when racism played a larger role in society, in popular culture, both consciously and unconsciously. It is presented here without alteration for historical reference. The advertisements featured in this comic were reprinted for editorial reasons only. The products and or services advertised and the terms and conditions offered by each sponsor were available at the time of the original publication and would not be available today. There you go. There's your Nuke. That's sacrilege here. I'm just kidding. You can feel however you want to. Yeah, I believe I blame The Sopranos for all. I watched The Sopranos about 6 times. Love that show. I have it, the box set. Watch it with the commentary tracks. It's amazing. but it started all of the talking over dinner, over food in the kitchen, all because there's The Sopranos were full of those scenes so you have two generations of writers that grew up thinking that The Sopranos are like, some culinary standard of gold. And what are populated in all of these Soprano stories? Meaningful character moments and story beats that happen over dinner, food, restaurants, breaking bread. It's also a time of being vulnerable. You know what I mean? It's great. I mean, just it's a theme in the show. This was a good comic book. Sorry, I got off track, but look, the army section here. It's Black Hawk #1. Dun, 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 dun. And history has proven that whenever liberty is smothered and when men lie crushed beneath oppression, there has always rises a man to defend the helpless, liberate the enslaved, and crush the tyrant. Such a man is Black Hawk. Out of the ruins of Europe and out of the hopelessness mass, defeated people he comes, smashing the evil before him. It's Black Hawk. Stories of Military Action on Land, Book 1, the Army section. Remember, there was no Air Force at the time. It was the Army Air Corps. Mm-hmm. It's Poland, 1939. The powerful armies of the Nazi Germany. Blah, blah. Yeah, Herr Captain. And just like, this grids, panels, with action and backgrounds. Oh, here's the promise who you become. He's dead. You killed them, Fontep. Just the same way as I'll kill you someday. Broken-hearted, the stranger sadly buries his sister and brother, and without a backwards glance walks away to disappear in the darkness. Months pass. It's Black Hawk. Dun, 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 dun. And Black Hawk saves the day and offers him out to a duel. Good. Now get in that plane and fight for your life. And Black Hawk's like, I'm going to take you down. And he does. And he gets the girl in the end, I hope. His loops and banks. This is pretty fun stuff. I mean, seriously. And you never know, AL, huh? That's between Pikachu keeps all the financial matters away from me because he knows I'm going to spend them on gumball cards and funny books. Pika is correct there. He's silly Sully. Look, he's spending his money on gumball cards again and funny books. Look, it's good. I mean, like, hey, I mean, just skip over them, I guess. Am I allowed to say that? But I love. Look at this 9-panel grid. Look at this 9-panel grid. I mean, look, we got backgrounds. We have simple coloring. I think they only had 16 to 64 colors because you had 4 colors: CMYK, cyan, yellow, magenta, and key, black, and the combinations of those colors. I mean, you could get up to 64 colors, I believe, and then came the digital splendor and revolution. Yeah, and this just keeps going. I mean, just wow. And look at those backgrounds. We get mountains. We get foreground, midground, and front ground. 4, mid, and background. I mean, you got 3. I mean, just you have depth perception here. This is great. I'm really liking this Golden Age of Assembly comic book. So happy with that. Thank you for letting me share that with you. Seriously, that's a fun comic book experience. Also, Titans number 11 wasn't all that bad at all. I mean, for me personally, Tom Taylor went 2 for 2 at bat today. Titans number 11, it's going somewhere big because we have some kind of stupid Zernar thing for Dick, but it's an intellectual thing, not combative. It's like, I love, one of the great reasons why I love Dick Grayson is because he is just as much a detective as his mentor. He's a different style, but he's had all of that training. It's his muscle memory. That's the first thing he thinks of is something like that. What would the Batman do? Or, in a way, that's part of his lens. I love that. And so he's got a hidden space in his mind because Raven can read minds. So when Raven's asleep, he's able to have this conversation of honesty with himself and then smuggle that information back into that hidden place. And when Raven's awake, she can't read his mind. It's interesting. And then there's an Amazo thing where with T.O. Morrow, Dr. T.O. Morrow, who created the Metal Men, no, that was Will Magnus. I'm sorry, T.O. Morrow, he created Amazo. That's right. Oh, JK, good to see you. AL's leaving. Enjoy the long holiday. Thank you so very much for dropping by. T.O. Morrow created the Amazo. Will Magnus made the Metal Men. Okay, yeah, sorry. So Amanda Waller's got T.O. Morrow on her side. She's making custom-made Amazos. And this was actually a pretty good story about, it had a RoboCop feel to it. This girl agrees to get powers, and at the end of it, she fails, and Dr. Morrow's like, save the brain. And then she wakes up years later with this new body and all this, it's an Amazo body in a way. And no, you're just in time, Dr. Nitrogen. Good to see you. And I'm so glad I have tomorrow off. Thank you, AL. To all your Pikachus from mine. Namaste. Oh, a puppy. Good for you. What kind of pup? Love dogs. So, yeah. So, Titans number 11 wasn't all that bad. It's going somewhere. It really is. I like it. It's just the simple reveal of what's been going on with Raven, but that's been fun. It's because it's kind of obvious, it's simple, but it's enjoyable. I don't know how else to put it. I like fun comics, and that's pretty fun what they're doing with Raven right now in Titans. Let's get to the heart of the matter. Batman Superman World's Finest 27 by Dan Wade and Mark Wade and Dan Mora. Pretty good for comic book. It's it tries to be fun and high stakes at the same time. Oh, goody. They're very loyal and smart. They really are. And they're good swimmers too. And they're bright. And yeah, they are very, very intelligent. As opposed to their cousins, the Chocolate Labrador, which are they share a common quality of breeding because they're very loyal and very well-intended dogs. But I mean, there's just Chocolate Labs are just a different level of stupid. But they're so lovable. They really are. Aw, that's great. Be the Batman and have your own sidekick, It's a good part of it. Mm-hmm. My Pika is very demanding. Where did we leave off? Oh yeah, World's Finest 27. It's fine. It's cute. It's fun, and it's all right. I mean, there you go. Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong, the last issue of this series. It's 7 of 7. No, it's not. It can't be canonical. Now it says Monsterverse on the cover. It's on the trade dress, so it says something like that. But I thought this was set in the past and somewhat canonical to the current DCU, this Dawn of DC thing. But it can't be because, spoiler, it happened last issue, and it plays into this issue. But Guy Gardner gets killed. I think he got killed 2 issues ago. But he's dead in this story. And he doesn't get resurrected. His ring flies away. Finds a new user. It's very toyetic. And but Guy Gardner is an active character in Green Lantern right now, in War Journal and in Green Lantern, especially in the backup with him and the Zarnian that claims he's not Lobo. But I thought it was. I thought Godzilla versus Kong versus Godzilla versus Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong, rather. I thought that was advertised as being like something that happened in the Dawn of DC past. Like, yeah. And what else? Oh, gosh. The Batman First Night, number 3 of 3. DC Black Label. This is some good stuff. Wow. It's very photogenic, it's very noir. Do you know what noir really means? Noir is a genre and a filmmaking style. Genre meaning it's dark, it's crime, and it's locale. It has so much charm that the backdrop becomes a character. That's noir. And as a film genre, a subgenre in film, it's that look of darkness, of shadow and light, and of urban background. That's why Blade Runner can be noir against an entire background of like 1930, like different styles of stuff, but they all have this urban connotation, this thing that they share. Indeed. Cheers. What else do we have this week? Wonder Woman number 9 by Tom King and Daniel Sampere. I haven't finished talking about Batman yet, Pika. Come on, stop it with the cattle prod. These little shocks he gives. Batman First Night number 3 of 3 solves the mystery. It's the Batman's first big adventure. It's set in this 1939 when he premiered in Detective Comics 27. He's at the same look, purple gloves, the rounded kind of thing, but it's like a Christopher Nolan movie adaptation. It's like Batman Begins, Nolan style, but set in 1939, like when he originally came out, because Batman was contemporary back then. That was even could be science fiction and futuristic with his gadgets and stuff and his science. Batman was a science hero. Also, he was an adventure hero. He was a costumed adventurer. He had gadgets. He built things. He was an engineer. He was a scientist. He's a chemist. Just like Batman Bruce Wayne is what we would call a Renaissance man. Indeed. We also have, Wonder Woman number 9 by Tom King and Daniel Sampere. Now, Superman number 14 came out. Now it's done by Joshua Williamson, art by Rafa Sandoval. It's part 4 of House of Brainiac. There's not much to say about that. It's a fine issue. It's on my pull list. I only need issue 2 and the 2003 annual, and that's going to catch me up on having the whole Williamson run on Superman, this new one, with Unchained and the ghosts and just all this stuff. This has been good. I've really enjoyed this run, the Donna DC Superman volume. I've really liked it. So there's not much to say about this. It's a fight between Lobo and Superman that ends too quickly. I will say I like it, like when sometimes the sound effect, the onomatopoeia, is the border of the panel, like in the art is inside the word. Oh my goodness! It's the memes of destruction. How are you, my friend? Good to see you. Are you still at the physics monastery? Are you back in New England? I mean, are you going to Fan Expo? You want to hang out? Let me know. Wonder Woman number 9. I mean, I'll share it because I want to dispel the bad vibes about this. Firstly, Daniel Sampere has done all the covers, and to look at the hatching and cross. You got hatching, you got cross hatching. This is real art. There's a lot of negative space stuff here. I don't mind that. I'm digging the art. Daniel Sampere did the primary art also for. Where I got turned on to him was back in Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths. He was writing that Joshua Williamson Crisis. If you let me know if you go to Fan Expo Boston. I don't know if I can make all of Saturday, but I'll be there Friday and Sunday. I will. I plan on being there as much as I can. One of my best friends asked him to help, shoot video for his Porch Fest on that Saturday. I love this Sampere art. Now, this is just Diana. She's talking to herself this entire issue. She's really not in, I don't believe she's in communication with Steve Trevor, like psychically. I don't think that they don't have that Jean Grey, Scott Summer psychic rapport bond. They've just been, boyfriend, girlfriend for 80 years, occasionally married and occasionally parents, specifically of Hippolyta Trevor, aka Fury of Infinity Incorporated, mother of Daniel Hall, the second dream of the Undying there. Inheritor of Morpheus. These are Golden Age characters. I love Sampere's art. It's once again, it's that Milo Manara. It's that just I would love to see the black and whites of this. Like, she's a big girl. I mean, she's not tiny. She's bigger than Steve, like physically. But I really enjoy. I mean, it's not about. It's okay. Tom King is doing a decent job here. He's doing a better job, I feel, on Penguin. But that's a 12-issue maxi series, and that's wrapping up. That's only got 3 more issues left, and I've been enjoying the heck out of that. And I hate Tom King, so to like this and its backup, the Trinity backup, it's funny. I'm liking a Tom King book. She's in captivity. She's in prison. She's been imprisoned by the patriarchy, and she's in a cell, and she's been there for weeks. Maybe she has. Happy 420 in the central time zone. There you go. Trying to just keep up with everyone out there, you know? That's true. But I don't know. Look at this is really good. Look at Steve Trevor here. Look at the light source. Look at the hatching and cross hatching on his fist, on his face. I mean, I like the face on Diana here. That this is, this is it's been interesting. This ain't that all that bad. But this is all like, and this here didn't happen. This is actually a reference to that issue of Wonder Woman where she breaks Maxwell Lord's neck. This is pastiche. She doesn't do this to patriarchy. So is she like talking to someone, or is she talking to herself? I think she's talking to herself. And then comes the Trinity backup, which haven't been all that bad. That's about it. So what is in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? This is a box. It's a little package. Hey, Angry Canadian. All that carbon scoring. And, they can smell like the lightsaber, coming from you. I thought the backup was fine. JK. I mean, it's just Trinity as a tween or a young girl, as a girl, not a very young child, but just and just this buddy cop thing between Damien and John, helping take care of her, and they are like. They're, well, hello. Niobe Comics. Welcome. How you doing? Another ad, indeed. Well. Oh, wow. So, yeah. So, we got cards, a ticket stub, and this is Inglorious Rex 2 by Shane Davis. And I think I got some kind of variant cover. Sometimes I don't, I forget. Yeah, this is some kind of variant cover. This is the Dale Keown variant cover. Written by Shane Davis, penciled by Shane Davis, inked by Yanzi Lin, colors by Jason Wright, letters by Eric Weathers, and heavy as the crown. I haven't opened this yet. So yeah, it's got perfect binding. This is volume 2 of Inglorious Rex by Shane Davis, which is like kaiju versus piloted, monster, human piloted monster. And it's got some stuff in the back. I'll have to get into this a little later. But that's the Dale Keown variant. It's the John Malin variant. It doesn't have any trade dress on it. I wonder, where's the maker's mark? I can't find it. Is this Sarah Canetti? Proofreaders. Andy Summers. There you go, Love Bug. Interesting. There's our unboxing. I will put this on the stack to be read. Got to get to a bunch of those. Hey, Fear Marnik, how are you doing? Let's see. Something with a QR code, but it's on the back of a bookmark, which is a ticket. You don't even get a ticket anymore for going to an arena. I hate that. I want a ticket stub. I'm old-fashioned. I really do. Oh, gosh. So it's got trading cards. Let's see how many. Oh, and see, this is what I love. The last one. It came. Okay, this is a lenticular card. All right. You see, you can barely see, but this is a lenticular card. I mean, like, it's called the Defender. Wish there was more going on in the art there. If you're gonna have a lenticular card, I mean, like the crown comes off and on, and some display. Can you see that? It's got stickers. This is a magnet, like a fridge magnet. This is a sticker. That's his icon for the monster mixed martial arts. That's what like fuels Inglorious Rex, this world. And he gave 5 trading cards. That's cool. At least they have stuff on the back that describe. We got 6 trading cards. It's got stuff on the back that describes the character of the scene, and some of them have like stats. That's cool. I mean, just like, yeah. And it's not, I don't know. I don't get these for like some collector value or, I mean, what's it all worth? I mean, would these even be listed in Overstreets? Like, would you like Cyberfrog Blood Honey first printing be an Overstreets price guide in 2026 or something? Oops. Throw another Dan slot. onto the fire. Keep that fire going. He's going to be at Boston Fan Expo 2024. Another thing, just like keep to yourself, don't engage. Just, you know, you see him, walk the other way, or seriously, I mean, here we go. Isn't that cute? So yeah, I'll put it back into the back of the trade paperback, and that's cool. Here we go. I have totally forgotten which special cover that is. I know if anyone can find out and remind me of like what's so special about that cover. Well, what's in the bag? What did we get at our local comic book shop this week? I spent about $30 at the local comic book shop. And let's see what I got in this ubiquitous brown paper bag. And in no order of sort of good or bad, I got, let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 funny books. And I think with my, and these are all new this week. I got 10% off. Yeah. I still spent, I think, 29 and change or 31 and change. Here we go. We've got Local Man, number 10. It's a start of a new arc. Great place for a new reader to jump on. It's a good place for a superhero fan and old Image in the modern day. And then it's a flip book. And then it tells a tale set back in the old way ago of the modern of the old Image day. And it's great because it works as a floppy. It's a good story. It's really entertaining. I look forward to it. This makes me happy to be a comics fan. This uses the medium of the monthly floppy to tell not just an interesting story, but only a floppy can do this, to have a flip issue. I like that. It's just like, that's very charming. Thank you. See, I got Superman 14, as I said I would. Well, when I quit smoking cigarettes, that was my bargain. Like, I was a pack-a-day smoker or more, and I was for about 16 years, about 13 years rather, and that was my bargain with myself. Was I said that, okay, they were like $6 a pack. 6 times 7 is 42. So you can spend up to $42 a week on comic books if you don't smoke cigarettes. That was, yeah. And very, that's what put me back in the early 21st century, in the double aughts. I was like, okay, I can afford this if, stop smoking cigarettes. And it was good for me too. I got to do that in my mid-30s. Stop smoking cigarettes. And that pleases my doctor for some reason. Yeah, great cover on Superman 14. And like I was saying about how the onomatopoeia being the frames of the panel, the sound effect in this fight, this give and take. I like that. And look, this is an ad on the inside cover. What is it for? What the heck is this? It's called Rue Morgue Digital Edition, the best damn magazine in the genre. It's only $6.66 per issue. Try their brand new app with daily news, reviews, and lots more. Get it on iOS and Google Play. rue.morgue.com. Whatever that is. But it's on the inside cover of a Superman comic book on a print publication. That's what's on the inside cover. In the back, My Adventures with Superman Season 2. And the young adult graphic novel about Barda. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it must work better as a floppy. So, I mean, if you can read it as a floppy, you'll probably find some joy in it. But yeah, I mean, this is a really darn good fight between Superman and Lobo, the main man, you know? And by the end of it, it's just like, I don't know. I just hit the wall early on this. And House of Brainiac, I'm already getting Superman in my pull list. It's fine. I like this book. I'll hang with it for as long as I see fit, you know? Check it out. Man's Best, number 3. Alien World, Weaponized Pets. Alarming, huh? I live down the street from a firehouse. Come back safe, everyone. I hope it's a false alarm. Man's Best is pretty good. I like independent comics. I love supporting them, and I love stories, and I love stories about like pets and stuff. I don't know. Just this has been really fun. It's like there are three of these pets, and they've been weaponized, and they're missing one of them. They're on the other side of the battlefield, something like that. I mean, just it's really interesting. Good art. I'm liking it though. Cobra Commander, 5 of 5. This wraps up this Joshua Williamson series. Joshua Williamson will be taking over again in our Energon universe with Codename G.I. Joe #1 coming soon to a local comic book shop near you, but probably after Scarlet and Destro. Those are the next 5-issue ones coming out. So onward it goes. We have Image, Ghost Machine, Rook Exodus, issue 2. This book is fascinating. This art is so satisfying. It's like 38 pages of story and art for $3.99. The first issue was over 60 pages for the same price. They've given us 4 issues worth of a comic book over the past 2 floppies. They really have. It's really good. I'm liking this a lot. Jason Fabic is just such a good artist. Oh, wow. So good. Yeah. This is like everyone's raving about this one. This is the the Ghost Machine I'm buying. So I mentioned it earlier, and it's a quick read. It's just every couple of pages there's a new artist and a new writer and artist combo. Here's the legend at the back of it. A 2 by Cy Spurrier, 1 by Aaron Campbell, with another by Cy Spurrier. But suckers, that one's by John McCrae. I mean, if you know John McCrae's art, oh my gosh, this is really good. This is McCrae for you. This is just, this issue is a weird because it gives you a couple of 4 or 5 different anthology stories, and it's just been the same arc. Hold on one second. Pika, you know what? Oh, good to see you, JK. Thank you so very much. And you know, it happens. You know. It's yes, it just embraces the vertigo-ness of years gone by. It's just it works. I have no. It's so odd because it's just it's its own issue. It's just issue 5. Every issue before this has just been the arcs, and now this is going a few more issues as well. I've seen that in the solicits. What is the last comic we got? I got the Red Band. I have no idea what the difference in the pages are because I'm not going to open this. Why? I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm just getting it to get it. There's nothing. I read it. So I'm trying to figure. I'm looking at the art. Like, okay, is this panel supposed to be like? They would put the art, the over the top art, where we've overshadowed. They could be. They really could be. But yeah, it's Blood Hunt 2 of 5. And yeah, I'd say stick with it. You might be pleased too. I am. It's just it is what it is. It's very like Tales of the Saga of the Swamp Thing kind of level of just anecdotal, just the little stuff that all just fill up the background. this is okay. This we had a reveal at the end. There are heroes who have become vampires, and big whoop. It's but like I said, the Union Jack, the Ripper Blood Hunt number 1 of 3, that was more fun than this. Now this got the popularized art, which that's what I'm in for. And the whole Red Band thing, just because it's like, okay, let me try that out. See how this works. Let's go there. Let's get a polybag comic. You're not going to open, but you're not going to slab. Shouldn't I slab this to keep it at its exactly? What do you think? Should I like, should I slab these? Should I slab my Blood Hunts? Don't know. But that's about it, except for Star Wars Day yesterday. I mean, I watched all 3 Star Wars films yesterday after being on Pops at 8 in the morning and on Wes at 10 in the morning. And then about 1 o'clock, I'm like, I'm going to celebrate Star Wars Day, Orthodox Star Wars Day, quote unquote, real Star Wars Day on, and watch the original trilogy in its original form. I have the 2004 DVDs and I put them back. But they had a bonus disc which included the pre-special edition original cut. Like my copy of Star Wars 77 doesn't say A New Hope. Now its aspect ratio is a little wonky because it's a bonus disc material. So, but on the big TV, it's like I'm very forgiving. Hey, George Lucas. Yeah, we're just talking about, happy birthday last week too. So George Lucas's birthday was like May 14th, and Frank Oz's was yesterday on the 25th. Peter Cushing's is today. I mean, the premieres of Star Wars and Return of the Jedi were both on May 25th. The premiere of Empire Strikes Back on May 21st. And then all that foolishness with May the 4th. It's legit. May is Star Wars month. Going forward, mark it on your calendars. Celebrate all month long. Exactly. Bust out a VCR. Transfer your VCR to your hard drive. Do you have the kind of... Is it possible? Can you do that? Do they make a USB cord that plugs into a coaxial? I'm not sure. Yeah, huh? Exactly. The gold one. I had the gold one, which was the was that the letterboxed one? It was the letterboxed one. I had to have the letterboxed one, or I'd pitch a fit. I needed to I need my letterboxed. I'm a cinema fan. Transfer to DVD. Rip with handbrake. Indeed. Well, we have gone. Oh wow, I've just talked and talked and talked. We've talked about comic books. Thank you so very much for hearing about the 55 different comic books that I've read this week. Seriously, I read a bunch of comic books this week. And wow, all these different stories, all these different artists, all these different, they say, how many periodicals are released every month? They're like, what, 400 or so? 500? That's it. Yes, sir. That's right. I'll get right on that. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been Sunday, the live stream, talking about new comic books. We've read a ton of new comic books. I bought 7 of them. Yeah, so out of the 55 pirated comic books I read this week, I bought 7. Is there like, I have no idea what, what odds are. Like, like how many comic books out of like, what am I like buying? Like 6% of like what's available? I have no idea. But we can track our sales and figure this out, though. All we need to do is provide data, and we can figure out this problem, if there is even a problem. Thank you so very much for tuning in. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. I'm going to go get something to eat now, and I suggest you do too, and enjoy your holiday weekend. I'm going to hang out tomorrow with the Gilk man, Thomas Gilkey, and having the mini meetups of our area. And hopefully we can see you guys at Boston Fan Expo in mid-June here, June 14th, 15th, and 16th. Coming up at the Heinz Convention Center here in Boston, Massachusetts, United States of America. Come and have a local mini meetup and let us know if you're going to be there already. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. We will see you again on Wednesday with the previews, with the preview show. Bye-bye.